Hey guys, welcome to Heart to Talk the podcast. I am the host and creator, Teresa Caesar. My intention for this podcast is to deliver to you wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness through solo episodes and conversations amongst insightful people. It is my greatest honor to bring to you talks that come from the heart. Welcome back, my amazing listeners. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to a truly talented individual whose creativity and dedication shine through every project. Jonathan Arlia is the visionary behind Photography by Jonathan Arlia. Born and raised in Tucson, Jonathan combines a keen creative eye with an analytical mindset, bringing integrity, kindness, and reliability to everything he does. With a passion for learning through trial and error, Jonathan's dedication has earned him a 100% five-star rating on Google. And I'm just thrilled to have him here today to share his story, his insights, and the secrets behind his success. So friends, let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Jonathan. I'm so excited you're here.
Me too. Absolutely.
Let's give some context to this audience. So a few months ago, we both were invited to this networking event at Kathy Bell's house. And I was invited primarily because my good friend Lucy Howell was celebrating her birthday. She was doing like toasts and hula hooping as the sunset went down. And I had brought a deck of affirmation cards for Lucy, the birthday girl, and then also the hostess, Kathy Bell, because she's always so graciously opening her house to everyone, bringing business owners and just connecting, which that's how I met you, right? So I love how we met because I want to say there was a group of ladies sitting at the table and they were opening up my deck and you're, oh, affirmations. I love affirmations and all of that. So I know we're going to dive into how affirmations have been pivotal on your journey, whatnot, but go ahead and introduce this audience. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm the owner of Photography by Jonathan Arlia. I established that company in 2019 and been working ever since. Prior to that, I began my professional photography and videography professions in 2012. There was a new yoga class right down the street from me. And I checked it out and then I kept coming back because I really liked it. And I became friends with the instructor, Tim. And at some point he asked me if I could take pictures, and then he got an inexpensive camcorder so I can do video. From there, it snowballed to, working with models and learning this and practicing, learning that.
So awesome. So primarily a lot of your work is with drone photography?
Yes, I got my first drone in 2021 with some grant money, and I learned how to use it. I got my license, and yeah.
That's amazing. Well, your work is incredible. I know that you have some big like local clients, organizations that you work with here locally. Do you work with people like nationwide, international? Is it more like Southern Arizona, Tucson?
It is mostly here in Tucson.
I love that. And so what inspired you to get into this work? Is it something that just found you? Or were you always passionate about photography and videography?
I have always been passionate about photography. I'm very creative, visual artist. I remember being a kid, not even 10 years old, and walking through Kmart. If you guys remember what Kmart is, what? Kind of like Target, I guess. But I would walk through the aisles and I would definitely stop when I got to the pro camera section. And I would just, Google them. Like Google them, not Google. Google wasn't around then, but Google them. Yep. And yeah, it's always been a passion.
Oh, I do remember Kmart. I remember the Thrifties ice cream from there and Layway.
My grandmother, who passed away in 87, she introduced me to my favorite ice cream, which was exactly that, Thrifties at Kmart, and it's still mint chocolate chip.
Oh, I love that. So what is your mission with your business or personal mission?
My mission is always to help my clients realize their photographic visions, to bring it to life, to who provide their photos or pictures or edited videos or whatever it may be. And obviously, all the time, bare minimum, it's got to do the job. It has to fill their need to what they're expecting. But I always aim to under promise and over deliver.
Well, I can see that you do just with some of the work that I got to see when we first met. But in addition to like your business and how you serve this community artistically, creatively with your gifts and talent, I really would love to dive in to the backstory before you've become this business owner, whatnot. You shared with me about how affirmations were such a powerful modality for you because you had struggled with some anxiety, social anxiety. Can you go down that path with us?
I would say pretty much from about 2000 to 2018, I struggled with crippling anxiety. When people hear the word anxiety, they don't always get how profound it can be, how horrible. It's like, oh, just walk it off, shake it off. And it's really not always that easy. It was hard for a really long time. I had to deal with it, and it was just a horrible thing. But the great thing, part of my story, is I did overcome it. I overcame all of it. Um, One thing that really helped, honestly, is probably like in 2014, 2015, I was just listening to the radio and I heard about the Midwest Center Attacking Anxiety program. Right away, I ordered it and then went through the whole thing like 3 or 4 times. One of the things it did talk about was negative thinking. When I listened to it initially, I was thinking to myself, well, I'm a pretty positive person. I don't have that many negative thoughts. But I dug deep and I really started to see a lot of it and started to understand that, we as humans, uh, we are literally built genetically to look for problems and threats because we're trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to keep ourselves safe and healthy. But, that's a fight or flight response we hear about all the time. But, typically we're not getting chased by a saber-toothed tiger. We're just going to a networking event like fewer world nations. So affirmations, and of course you know this, Teresa, better than I do, but affirmations are just telling yourself, talking to yourself, not doesn't have to be out loud, but telling yourself, kind of taking all the negative thoughts and flip it around. Instead of I'm scared of this, I can handle this, or say, or basically anything you want in your life. You just tell yourself, I can have this. There's nothing really in my way. I don't have to know the how. I know what will come to be. This is what I know. This is what I believe. And it's life transforming.
I agree. It's amazing. And so how cool that you found that program. Like if you had not started to use affirmations in this program that you found, do you think you would have ever come to this place that you are now as this business owner? Because I see you out there, you're social, you travel, you have all these connections.
And having a good time doing it. It was part of the solution. Affirmations, along with strong faith, the law of attraction, what you think about comes to be. And I think over a period of a few years, maybe what actually happened was I kind of transformed the physical structure of my mind to adapt to the anxiety.
And I love that you said that, to adapt to it, because feelings are meant to be felt, and that's good. We're human. If we're scared or we have anxiety, that's okay. But like you said, I love the word, like it's adapting to it.
Yeah. That's another thing we can do as humans. We're really good at adapting.
So how often are you practicing the law of attraction, all of this? Is it just something that's now just part of how you think and, how you move, or do you do little daily rituals?
Normally, I begin my day going through a list of 20 affirmations that go to specific different areas of my life, my mind, people, social life. Being mindful, being aware. I've heard it, I've read it many times. most of this begins with awareness of like where we are in the present moment, what's going on in our minds, how we're feeling. Um, I don't know how many times I've caught myself like almost bracing for something that's not even anything that's actually even coming. It's just bracing for something and maybe not breathing fully enough.
That's so beautiful. I want to pivot now back to your business. I'm going to share in the show notes, like the links, everything you've provided. But how can, this audience get in touch and follow your work or maybe even get in touch with your services?
Uh-huh. There are a few ways. Basically, give me a call, text me, email me. My website has a contact page which outlines any legitimate way of reaching out to me. I like to actually have a real conversation with people. We can meet on the phone or a Zoom. I do in-person coffee meetings all the time.
Do you have any tips for photography, videography? Because your services, are they mainly for like corporate, large organizations? What about private individuals?
It has become these days more and more about B2B, business to business. Although
Yeah.
I do work with individuals. As far as tips, I don't believe a lot of people understand how in-depth and massive the whole photography, videography subject is. We have our little phones. Everyone has phones. Even little kids have phones these days. And honestly, these things, they take amazing pictures, amazing videos, but there are legitimate reasons why photographers enter an event carrying 50 pounds of stuff. We're not doing it to work out and get exercise. There are reasons for all that stuff that we'll bring in. But even still, for those just getting into it or trying to learn more, go ahead and use your phone. Use your phone, learn composition and lighting, practice, practice, practice. Using your phone is a great opportunity to practice an environment, which is low stress and not costly. If you go to a job the first time and you're not exactly sure how to do it, you'll probably make a couple of mistakes, but one of the reasons I'm at the level I am is I've made mistakes in the past and I had to learn from them.
I love those tips. You're right. When you do go to professional for those headshots or to showcase your business, you do get what you pay for because you guys are the experts, right? In the lighting and like all your equipment serves it. So I think it's incredible. And is there anything else before I pivot to those ending questions? Is there anything you feel called to share with this audience, either about you or your business? It could be anything.
Well, definitely check out my website. I created it over years to answer a lot of questions, give good examples. And I love talking to people. I love meeting people. I am a very social, very personal person. Don't be shy. Reach out. Call me.
That's just where the magic is. Whether there's a transaction that occurs or not, just the transaction of building connection is just enough. I feel like whether like I use you for a business or maybe you didn't come on the podcast, but you just never know, that just like support or influence that these connections can make. And I think that's one thing I have done more of because I've been in a season where I've been just kind of was isolated. I had like my virtual community, but since I've been intentional about building my tribe and expanding it and getting out there and just making those in-person connections. I mean, I don't know if you can share on this, how that has been significant on your journey, not only as a business owner, but as an individual, like just making these friendships and connections with people, putting yourself out there.
Absolutely. We are nothing as a business if there's no one else involved. It's just us then.
Mhm.
There are many, many networking opportunities here in Tucson every week. I typically go to maybe one or two a week. And honestly, for anyone out there, entrepreneur or whatever, and you're trying to grow your business or maybe just meet people, there are definitely resources.
That's such a good tip. I love that you put yourself out there. Well, I'm going to pivot into the traditional closing questions of this podcast. So, Jonathan, I'm going to ask you the first question. What is your favorite book?
This is one that not many people are going to know. And it's an oldie. It is The Last Battle by C.S. Lewis.
Mm,
And it is the last book of the Chronicles of Narnia. A lot of people, they kind of start with the Lion, Richie wardrobe, and they might go in a couple more books and they just kind of forget about it. But they're all wonderful books from my childhood.
that's a good recommendation. Thank you. And then the second question, what is your favorite affirmation that keeps you motivated, inspired?
Right now, that's going to be, I am learning to focus on love, peace, prosperity, and serenity so that I will manifest them into my life.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And the third question, what do you want to be known for? Your legacy.
Simply for being a kind man of integrity.
And the last question, Jonathan, what are you most proud of?
That I have a good heart.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please download, rate, subscribe, and share this podcast. Also, be sure to visit my website at teresacaesar.com to check out my inspirational merch, connect to my social accounts, and much more. May you continue to be filled with wisdom, inspiration, and consciousness. Otherwise, friends, I will be back in 2 weeks for another episode of Heart to Talk.